I hope you're listening closely, because if you are, you're going to be hearing the sounds of the Podcast Whisperer. David Allen challenges you to learn what it takes to be a world-class podcaster, because everyone has a story to tell.
Welcome to the Podcast Whisperer. This week we are reviewing a podcast called Use Your Words.
Josh had a rant saved up, so I want to hear this rant.
So let's in that aspect is
go on.
You
go.
I don't know. I mean, what was it? What's the word I'm looking for here?
What's going on? I'm just looking at the meter the entire time.
And welcome to the Podcast Whisperer. My name is David Allen, and thank you so much for joining us this week. So this week we are looking at a podcast called Use Your Words, and Use Your Words is about difficult conversations that can just be that, difficult. Sometimes we are timid or don't know the words or phrasing to use to convey the thoughts we have. Sometimes those thoughts break our brains a little bit, and we may falter to explain what we are thinking. Those concepts are in our brains, but they haven't found their way out yet, and we are at a loss of words trying to explain these thoughts floating in our head to others. We really do ourselves a disservice when we fail to engage in these conversations, no matter how difficult or uncomfortable they may be at times. That is the description of this week's podcast, Use Your Words. So let's dive right in. Let's start with the facts. So the facts are, they launched February 5th, 2019, and they have some upticks on iTunes. They have a couple reviews. The artwork looks pretty good. It's just a big thought bubble, Use Your Words, which I think is pretty cool, podcast on the side. So it kind of tells you what it's all about. There are 10 episodes in, or 11 episodes in. What I love about this is that if you look on iTunes, they started with my biggest pet peeve, and that's episode 1, a disc. Episode 2, technical. Episode 3, a talkie. Episode 4, a talkie. So they started abbreviating episodes. They went EP5, consumerism. EP6, video game. I don't know where this started, where we have to put episode numbers in our things. I just don't know where this happened. To me, it just takes away from what we're trying to talk about. And I've mentioned this in many, many different shows before. We have got to get rid of these episode numbers, guys, because if you look already, iTunes does that for you. I don't know why we insist. And it's not just this podcast. It's so many that I see that come through to reviewmypod.com. So many people submit these podcasts, and everybody has episode titles and numbers in their titles, and it makes me nuts. It makes me absolutely crazy, because why do I need to know what episode this is? Either mention it in the episode if you feel that strongly about it. And this might be something I need to be educated on. So those who are listening, maybe educate me on this, but as a podcast consumer myself, I don't give a shit about the episode number. I want to know what it's about. So stop taking away characters from your episode titles. Rant over. Okay, so we looked at the facts. Let's dig into the concept of the show. I really like the concept of the show. It is 3 guys chatting about difficult conversations. So take a listen.
How do we get people to understand? I think one thing is important for anybody out there who's listening who doesn't quite understand the mindset of a Christian. We believe in the absolute truth. And with believing in absolute truth, there has to be surrenderance to it. So where the world is saying that anything of flesh has its own right, in the Christian mind, it's we don't have to have the right to everything we own, to our bodies, to our thought. We have to surrender our life over. And that includes not only our thoughts, but our flesh and our possessions. And
in that clip, you heard them talking a very hot button topic, which is Christianity, religion in general. And the reason I brought that up is because I like the fact that they had a pastor on who was talking about this. And I might have completely misunderstood the conversation, but I thought it was really good. Trying to give his point of view and what people are misunderstanding about the Christian faith and so on. So I thought that was actually pretty good. My thoughts on the show is it's a great concept, because we want to be able to talk about things that make us uncomfortable, because that really just expands our minds. However, I feel it's a bit scattered. Just take a listen to this clip.
Found a way to make noise from it. I don't know how you have succeeded in that, Mr. Brewer. You got nothing? You're usually very talkative.
He's moody today.
Oh,
he's like, yep. He's nodding his head.
Enforcer, we're sorry. We're going to send him back to you today in a very sad state then.
She knows how to deal with it.
Yeah, this is true. Well, what?
What was being broken right there? Fingers? I hope.
Couple of things about that clip. To me, this is to me. Remember, now you submitted this to me for my review, so I'm giving you my honest opinion. It was like nails on a chalkboard. Oh, it was bad. It was bad. I personally would not listen to this again because of that. It's so scattered. There's no point. There's no direction. There's nothing. It's just three guys with a microphone who are just like, what? What are you even talking about? So that brings me to the challenges that I'm finding in this show. Let's talk about your intro. The music's great, energetic, ready to go. When I first tuned to it, I'm like, oh, this is great. And the fact that you guys even use clips from the beginning of the show, that's amazing. So you use the clips, you got into the intro, but then there was nothing. No show. Hi, welcome to Use Your Words. My name is, and this is, and this is, and today we're going to be talking about this. It was just dead air. Like it was just a bunch of noise. It's so crazy to me that like I said, I like the show, and I really do think that the show has potential, but it has to go in a direction where it's going to make sense. If you're going to use your words and talk about topics that people aren't really talking about, you got to get right to the point, my friend. You only have a certain amount of time to capture a listener. And had you not submitted this to me, if I ran across it, I'd probably turn it in the first, say minute or so, because again, there's no intro. You're not giving the audience what they want. What is this show about? Maybe there's a topic that you're covering today that I want to hear about.
And the topic today is video games. And I left this kind of open and broad. So anything from video games causing violence to video games being good for people, especially older generation people, to video games leading to a decline in morals, to all that fun stuff, video game addiction, video game. So there's a lot of things that this can go directional wise.
That is what I'm talking about. That should be in the beginning of your show. I mean, you got to trim it up a little bit. Video games, when you're going to try to address some sort of topic, you got to get a little bit more specific about it. You can't just say, oh, video games. And, I like the moral one. I like the fact that you mentioned it's good for older generations and, things like that, but clean it up a bit. And then you also have a co-host that just seems like he has no flipping clue what the hell's going on half the time. I mean, throughout the whole show, all I hear is what? Huh? What? And he's just making all kinds of noises. That's not adding anything to your show. As a matter of fact, that's kind of aggravating to the ears, if I'm being honest. And I know this is a little bit more harsh than my normal reviews, but again, I'm listening to the show and it just seems like it's just a bunch of banter to me, which is normally okay in podcasting realms. But again, I like the concept of the show. I think it's a really cool concept. But you just got to clean this up, man. You really, truly got to clean it up a bit. The intro music, again, great. But use that intro music. Hi, my name is, and this is Use Your Words. And this week we're talking about, just in that clip alone, was perfect. That's all you needed in the intro. That needs to be the first part. Then you can banter all day long about it afterwards. So restructure the show. Listen to what I'm telling you. Restructure your show. Start with your intro music. Don't change that. That's great. Very energetic. Start with an introduction to who you are and who your co-hosts are, and then what the topic of this week is going to be about.
Thank you.
Leaving reviews really helps us out a ton. Really does. Share it with your friends, family, people who might like this. And again, if you don't like us, go ahead and leave us a 0-star review or 1-star review and share it with your favorite anime to hate.
Maybe they'll like it.
We will go and torture your enemy for you.
Absolutely.
It's a service we offer for free here at Use Your Words Podcast. So,
absolutely. Whatever works, man.
Yeah, whatever works. I think we'll leave next week's episode a surprise.
A secret.
Because hopefully from that one we'll have more input from Mr. Brew over here.
And hopefully I'll actually take notes and make my own.
That'd be good too.
It's for this one.
All right.
For that one.
So I think we're pretty good at this point here. Let's wrap this up. What do you say?
Goodbye! Until next time!
I don't know what the hell I just listened to. In my entire years of podcasting since 2009, have never heard a podcast request a 1-star review. I understand, I think I kind of understand a little bit where you're coming from with that, but requesting a 1-star review? That's what I'm saying. And again, this is your show. This is your show. I personally would not listen. Again, I would not recommend this show. I think with a little restructuring and a little cleaning up, it's a good idea. There was no socials at the end. You had all that music and let's wrap it up. Okay, guys, let's call it a day. Guys, it's a mess. It's an absolute disaster, this show. But again, there's all hope is not lost. I love your personalities. I love that you guys bounce off of each other. But again, even your friend in there, thank you. What the hell? I mean, it's just, did we pity him? Is that why he's on the show? Did we not want to leave him out? And it's not insulting because again, if you're finding my words to be insulting, that means you're finding truth in it. And that's okay. Me personally, again, you brought this to my attention. I want to help you. I truly, truly do. So here's what I would recommend you do at this point. Start over. Start from scratch. Structure the show. Get a voiceover. I can help you with that. I can voice over an intro for you. That's not a problem. I can certainly help you with that. Your audio quality is excellent, so that's good. Don't change that. The music that you use in the beginning is great. Don't change that. But get a voiceover intro done for your show to say, use your words and my name is blah, 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 blah. You don't even need a voiceover, but it just helps. And then your outro. You want to ask people to follow you, where to find you, how to like you, what to do. You want a 5-star review. Maybe you got confused. Maybe that's what happened. You want a 5-star review, though. You don't want a 1-star review. You don't want people to bring down your ratings because, clearly it doesn't seem like something that you guys care about. And it's okay because that's what podcasting is. There's an audience out there who might love this. And there might be an audience that'll just tune away from it. So you got a lot of work to do, my friend. You truly do. Thank you so much for submitting it to reviewmypod.com. If you want your show to be reviewed and featured, by all means, I will be completely honest with you. I am the Podcast Whisperer. Reviewmypod.com. Happy podding, everybody. And I can't wait to hear your podcast.